Hello everyone, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and I am really excited today to be sharing with you some of the brand new Stamps by Chloe releases. I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beautiful 7x7 card using our fabulous new Flowerburst background stamps and our lovely new Rose Mallow flower stamp as well. So this is a really pretty card. If I bring it in close, you can see the dimension that we've got on there and how we've got all of that beautiful detailing in the background as well. So I'm really excited to teach you how to make this card. If you hop onto the website and go onto the blog, I'll pop the link below. You'll be able to hop on and see all of the ingredients and materials you'll need for this card. I'm also going to link all of the products below in the description as well, so please do have a look on there. But if you hop over to the blog, I'll pop all of the measurements on there too. So I think we are ready to get started. We'll just take those off and pop that one in. There we go. Okay then. So this is the card that we are going to be making today, and these are some of the products that we are going to be using. I've got a few of them out in front of me just to show you. So we've got the beautiful new Chloe's Creative Cards Flowerburst Element stamp, which is beautiful. So it's a really nice large image. You've got lots of different sizes of these beautiful flower bursts on there, and these are amazing for creating backgrounds, for using behind your flowers as well. They just work so well in your embossing powders and embossing glitters. Oh my word, they look amazing. And we're also going to be using the fabulous new Rose Mallow flower stamp and die set, which is such a beautiful image, and this is in our lovely new packaging as well, which is gorgeous. So you've got your stamp and die in here. We're just going to be using the small one out of this packet today. We're also going to be mixing and matching with an older product as well. So we're going to be using the 6x6 designer paper pad. And I've just taken one of the sheets out of this to stamp my flowers onto. And we are going to be using some beautiful wow powders and some sparklicious glitters as well. So I think we are ready to get started. So I've got my stamps. Our stamps are all clear photopolymer, so they'll just self-cling onto a clear acrylic block. I've got my card already cut down to size here. I'm just going to check that I'm using the right one to stamp onto here, which I am. Okay, we're going to start off by taking an anti-static bag, and we're going to just give our card a little dust over. What that's going to do is take off any fingerprints, any oils, any excess static that might be on your paper or card there. So this is just a square of white card I'm using. I'm going to be using the Wow Clear Embossing Ink Pad to stamp my images. So I'm going to start by inking up my stamp with lots of light tapping all over the image. So I've taken the largest flower burst to start with. I'm going to stamp this down onto our card. So I'm going to start off by stamping one to the left side here. Going to lift that off. We're going to take our beautiful Lilac Aurora wow powder and sprinkle that over the top. So we'll just sprinkle this in now. There we go. If you've got any fingerprints or anything like that on your card, you can just take a paintbrush and brush those off. Like so. Then we're going to start and heat this up now. So I'm going to be using my heat gun, which I've got over here. So we're just going to hold that heat gun still. And then as soon as we see that powder start to melt and change, we are just going to move the heat gun over the image like so. So you can just see how you can heat this powder up perfectly, and it's going to give you that lovely sparkly lilac finish to it. And there we go. If I bring that in nice and close, can you see the shimmer and the sparkle that we've got on there? It is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go back in with my anti-static bag, and we're going to stamp another two now. Just dusted that over my paper. There's a little bit too much came out there. Okay, we're going to grab in our ink pad and re-ink our stamp. So lots of tapping all over. And then we're going to stamp one slightly higher up. So we're going to stamp this one round about here. Like so. So firm even pressure all over the stamp. I'm going to re-ink again. I missed a bit there. And we're going to stamp one more at the bottom here. as well. And we'll lift that off, and we've got two beautiful images there. So we're going to go in with our Lilac Aurora embossing powder now and just sprinkle this over again. And give your card a little flick as well, just to get rid of any excess powder that might be on there. And again, if you've got any little stray bits, go in with your dry paintbrush. We're going to pop our wow powder back into the jar. We are going to use that again in a moment, so I'm just going to leave the lid off for now. Then we're going to heat this up again with our heat gun. So again, all I'm doing is holding that heat gun still, and as soon as I see that powder start to melt and change, I'm just moving my heat gun over the image. I've just put that down so I don't burn my fingers. There we go. So you can see how you've got the first three flower bursts in the background there, and you can just see all of the lovely sparkle that we've got going on there with the embossing powder. So what I've now done is I've taken one of the smaller flower burst images, which you also get in the stamp set, and we're just going to use this to kind of fill in the gaps in the background. So I'm going to stamp it in this area here and this area down here. Just blow any excess embossing anti-static off there, sorry. Right, so I'm using my clear embossing ink pad again, so exactly the same one, which is the wow one. And then we're just going to go in and fill in the gaps. So I'm going to stamp one here, lift that off, go and re-ink with my ink pad, stamp another one over here, like so. I might just get a tiny bit of one. Whoops. Helps if you don't throw your paper and card away. Another little bit of one in there. Re-ink our stamp again. Now, because my stamp's smaller than the ink pad, I'm just hitting the stamp to the ink pad that time. One there. And then maybe one about here. And we might just get a tiny bit of one in there. Okay, so that is looking really good to me so far. So what I'm going to do now is take my powder again. So exactly the same powder, which is Lilac Aurora, in the wow powders, and we're going to sprinkle that over. Like so. Make sure we've got everything covered with powder there, which we have. Any little stray bits you can always just dust off. I always tend to find I get stray bits because I always have ink on my fingers when I'm doing backgrounds. Okay, so we're going to pop that back into the jar. It's really important with wow powders as well that you do keep them in the little jars that they come in, because they are all treated twice for static flow. It's also worthwhile when you're using an embossing glitter, giving it a little shake before you use it, just to mix up the powder and the glitter that's in there. Okay, so we're going to heat this up now. So again, I'm holding my heat gun still. And then as soon as that powder starts to melt and change, I'm just moving my heat gun over the image. And there we go. And then if we turn that round, you can see there how we've got that all nicely heated up. And can you see the sparkle that we've got on there? It's a little, oh, there we go. I think we just got it there. It's a little bit hard to show with the light in here, but there we go. So that's our background built up, okay, to start with. So what we're going to do now is go in with a little bit of sparklicious glitter. So the colour that I'm using is Frozen, which is this lovely kind of iridescent-y silver glitter. So we're going to go in with that in the background. So I'm going to use my Dries Clear PVA glue along with the ultrafine metal tip. The ultrafine metal tip makes such a difference with this as well, because what we're going to do is just go in and put tiny little dots of glue, like so, just in and around the flower bursts. And what we're wanting to do is kind of like make those little dots radiate out from the centre. like so. So I'm just going in with my little dots of glue, just adding these into the background, as you can see here. And you can kind of go in and add as many or as little as you want. I would kind of go a little bit steady to start with, because you can always go and add more, but you kind of take them away once you've got them on there. Then we're going to take this beautiful frozen glitter and I'm just going to sprinkle that over. And can you see how it looks? It doesn't look that subtle in the jar, but when you actually get it onto the project, it is a really nice subtle colour. So that's going to start and pick the colours up from around it when it dries down as well. So we're going to continue round and do that on all of the other little flower bursts that we've got on this card. So we're just going to go in and use our fine tip to add in all of these little dots, and you can kind of start to get the flower bursts joining up as well if you want to. So you can just see by adding all of these little dots into the background here how well this then starts to work. But you can just work your way around like so, adding all of these little dots in. And again, what we're doing is kind of making them radiate out from the centre of these beautiful flower bursts, like so. And then we can use our frozen glitter again, so we'll just sprinkle that over and tap off the excess, and you can just see where that's picked up on there. Now some of my little dots have dried, so I should have done a few less at once there, so I'm just going to go back in with my glue, just add a few more in there like so. But you can see how that then is starting to come together, and we're starting to add that little bit of bling and sparkle into the background. So what we'll do now is just continue to work round. So I'm going to do the same here over at this side, just adding that glitter in behind the flower bursts. But you can really see how this little metal tip comes into its own with the glue, because it really is kind of just adding that extra level of detail. Onto your project. So, and then we'll go back in again and sprinkle this directly over, and you can just see how we've then got that little bit more glitter on the background there. Okay, and then we'll go in and do exactly the same around the smaller ones as well. So I'm just adding these little dots of glue in. Right, so I'm not being too careful either, I'm just randomly dotting them about and sprinkling my glitter over. And you can see I've missed a little bit there, how that's all starting to come together really nicely now. And this looks really pretty as well with some of your finer sparklicious glitters as well. So maybe like Crystallina, and that one works really well for your backgrounds. It looks absolutely stunning. But you can really see how you can get into all of the detail with these, and you can really get in and just add these little dots of glue, and it makes such a massive difference to your finished project. Okay, so we'll sprinkle that over, and then we'll add a tiny bit more here. And then where you've got any gaps as well on your project, like along here, you can go in and add a few more dots of glue and a little bit more glitter. You can never have too much glitter in your life. So you can you see how we've got all of that sparkle just added in behind the flower bursts there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll pop this layer to one side to dry. Get that glitter back in there. And while that's drying, I'm going to show you how to create the beautiful little flowers for this project. Okay, I'll just put my pin in the top of my glue there. Let's try and stay a little bit tidier as we go. I'll just give my mat a little dust over too. There we go. Okay then, so what I've done is I've taken one of the beautiful papers, and this is out of the 6x6 designer paper pad that we've got on the website. It is a lovely paper pad. You've got loads of different designs in here. They've all got a bit of a watercolour theme to them, but they're all really, really pretty. And this one in particular works so well for if you are stamping and die cutting your flowers, especially if you emboss them in white. They look absolutely gorgeous. So what I've done is taken my smallest rose mallow flower stamp, and I've stamped it 9 times. I'm just going to stamp it once to show you today. So what I do is I adjust my paper with my anti-static bag. Then I go in with my ink pad. I'm just going to get my embossing powder ready. So the colour that we're using is diamond white. Now what I tend to find with a lot of printed papers when you're stamping and embossing is they seem to absorb your embossing ink a little bit more, and I think it must just be to do with the process that they go through when they're printed. So what I tend to do is, rather than stamping a batch and then putting my embossing powder on at the end, I just stamp one, sprinkle my embossing powder on and tap off the excess. Okay, then we're going to heat that up. So it's a little bit hard to see at the moment, but trust me, these will pop when they are heated and cut out. So that was diamond white in the wow powders that I've just used there. So again, what we're doing is we're holding the heat gun still, and then as soon as that powder melts and changes, I'm moving the heat gun over the image. Okay, so if I bring that in nice and close, you'll be able to see how you've got the lovely white with all the glitter, and then you've got the colour popping behind. So what I've done is I've taken those and I've stamped and cut out. I've used the die with these. I've die cut them out. I've done 1, 2, 3. I've done too many. Okay, so no, I haven't. I've done 9. So I've got 9 that I've stamped and already cut out. And I'm gonna teach you how to shape these now. So to shape these, I like to give mine a nice kind of 3D look to them. So what I do is I take a pair of tweezers. If you've got the reverse action tweezers, they would work brilliantly too, but you do need them to be straight. They can't be like the ones that are angled or pointed at the end. Then what you're going to do is place your flower into your tweezers like so. You're going to hold it between your finger and thumb and then twist your tweezers away from you. So what you're doing in effect is putting like a little like twist in the centre of the flower petal. So you can just work round and do this on all of the flowers. So we're just putting this little twist in, and you can see how just from that one sheet of paper you can see the variation in the colours that we've got for the flowers. So we've got some that are a little bit more orange, some that are a little bit more purpley, some that are a little bit more pink as well. But these watercolour papers work so nicely with the fabulous flower stamps. They just look amazing. Oops. So if you put your tweezers in right there. So you can just pop your tweezers down the middle, give it a little twist, and then you're good to go. Do exactly the same with this one here. So you're kind of wrapping the petals around the tweezers there. So what we're then going to do is use our dries clear glue. So you're going to start with one flower that's going to be flat. You're going to put a blob of glue into the middle, and then you're going to take your flowers, give them a little pinch in the middle, then you're just going to place them over the top and offset them slightly. So this is the first layer going in now. Bring that in close, can you see? Okay, and then we're going to do the next layer. Another decent sized blob of glue in the middle. Pull those petals towards you like so, so they like form a little bud in your fingers. Then place that down in the centre. Just give that a little second just to grab. But then you can see how these little flowers, once they're dry, you do need to give them a couple of seconds just to dry. And what you can do is you can kind of squish the petals down a little bit as well. The twist's a little bit too tight, but you can just use the end of a paintbrush or something to squish them in the middle. But you can see how this then creates these beautiful little three-dimensional flowers. So what we're going to do is do exactly the same again. So build the next one up, get what your base layer, you want that one to be pretty flat. Your next layer, pull the petals towards you. When you stick them down, offset them just a little bit. And a good squish. Okay. Again, another blob of glue in the middle. Take your petals, pull them towards you. Little twist and straight down into the middle. Like so. So then you can see how that starts to come together again, and you've got that lovely shape. But look at all the different colours you've got in there as well. That's what I think is so lovely about these. And then we'll do the final one here. So you're going to start with your base one pretty flat, and then you're going to take your petals again, pull them towards you. That one down there. Like so. And then exactly the same again. Pull your petals towards you. And put that down there like so. That would then be your little finished flower. So I'm going to give those a little squish. Oh, my glue hasn't quite grabbed there. Let's just give that a squish in the middle with a paintbrush or an embossing tool, anything like that. We'll put those to one side. Okay, and what we're going to do now is start to build up our card. So what I've got is I've got a 7x7 card blank, and I've got my mats and layers cut down already. So again, if you'd like to know any of these measurements, please do hop over to the blog, which is on chloescreativecards.co.uk/news/blogs. Okay. Right, so we've put a little bit of dry as clear glue on the back of this pink mirror card, and that's going to go straight down onto our card blank, like so. Okay, and then I've got a square of white card. I'm going to take a chisel tip glue pen, and I'm going to run around the edge of this. I'm just going to use a little bit of Crystallina glitter. So you're just going to take your chisel tip glue pen and drag it towards you, like so. And then you can take your glitter. I've just got a big tub of it over here. Just sprinkle that over. Just bring that in. Can you see how you've got the little glittery edge there? Then we're going to do exactly the same again down the other side. So then in effect you've created like a little glittery frame around the edge of the card. So what I'm going to do now is stick this flat onto my card blank. So I'm going to use my dry clear glue. I'm going to scribble this all over the back of my card, like so. Then we're going to position that down into place. We're just going to have a nice little fine border around the edge of our mirror card there. So the mats and layers on this are quite fine. It's actually quite a clean and simple card, this one. So then we're going to take our beautiful background and just look at it now it's dried. Look at the sparkle, isn't it amazing? So we're going to flip that over. We're going to pop some foam pads on the back of here. So we'll just get these down and into position like so. Right, we'll take the backs off of these. Just quickly whip the backs off like so. And then we're going to pop this down onto our card. It's going to go this way. So we're just going to have like a very, very fine border around the edge of the glitter. So it just kind of catches when it hits certain lights, but it looks really pretty on the mats and layers there. Okay, I'm going to pop that to, no I'm not, I'm going to pop my flowers in actually first I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of 3D glue gel just to stick my flowers into place on my card blank. So I'm going to put a blob in the middle of each of the little larger flower bursts like so. And you can just arrange your flowers as you want them. And there we go, so you can see how it's starting to come together now. I've then got some pearls in my craft stash over here. So what I'm going to do is take some of these larger white pearls, and these are just going to go into the middles of the smaller flower bursts. Okay, like so. And what we're then going to do is, I'm sure if you are like me and have crafted for a little while, when you're out and about you're like a little magpie. Well, when I was out and about I found these amazing flower sequins and I'm literally sticking them on everything. So what I'm going to do is just go into the background and just add some dots of PVA glue like so, just randomly dot it about, and I'm going to stick some of these little sequins into place just to add, you know, that extra bit of shimmer and sparkle. If you haven't got any of these at home, you could use a little flower punch or a little flower die cut. These are just nice and sparkly, so I thought they went quite well with this project, being it all about the bling and everything. Pop those into place there. Looking good. Now I personally don't like the hole in the middle of the sequin, so what I did is I went in with some just some normal self-adhesive jewels. One's a little bit big, let's try a smaller one, and I just kind of stuck those over the centre of the sequins like so. If you're at home, what I would probably do is give your sequins the time for the glue to grab before you kind of go in and do this, but seeing as I'm showing you how to do this today, I'll just stick them in. So I'm just working around adding these little jewels into the middles of the flowers, and you can see how that is now starting to make them pop. Okay, so that's how we're looking now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the sentiment banner. So this was just like a little, it's a, I think it might be a Sue Wilson die that I just had in my craft box. So I'm going to use that, and I've pinched a sentiment stamp, which is just for you. It's either from our Celebrate or Best Wishes sentiment stamps. I will have a look and I'll link it in the description below. Pop that onto my acrylic block. This is just a silver ink pad. The one that I'm using is a Spectrum Noir one, but any silver ink pad is fine. So I've inked my stamp up there, lots of little light taps. I'm going to stamp it just for you, just across there, like so. And then I'm going to trim the end off. I haven't quite got enough ink on my stamp there, I think. Needed a little bit more. I was a little bit too light with the taps. I wonder if we can go in and, you know what, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk going in and relining up. So a little bit more ink on the stamp this time. Okay, because the stamps are clear, you can see through them. So hopefully, position that down there. Lift that off. That's just about the right place. It's got a little bit of a shadow going on there, but that is fine. So what we'll then do is just trim the end off like so, and I'll probably cut it into like a little bit of a flag shape, and just tuck that in underneath there. I'm going to put a couple of foam pads on the end just to lift it up a little bit. Go on to the end there. You can see how that's starting to come together there now. We're going to add some little pearls into the corners. So I'm going to put 3 at the bottom here, 3 at the top. Okay, for the centres of my flowers I've got some beads that have again managed to collect over the years. So I thought, oh, we'll use those, they'll look quite cool in the middle. So we're going to just put a big blob of glue, and this is what I tend to do when I use beads. I put a big blob of PVA glue, make sure it's dries clear. Again, this art glitter one is amazing. And then I just drop the pearl in the middle, and I just tend to kind of leave them overnight. If you just leave them completely flat, you tend to find that the pearls will just dry in. So you can see that's where we are now. So then I'm going to show you how to tie one of my fabulous triple bows. So I'll move that out of the way, and I'm going to just kind of come behind the camera here to show you. So what you're going to do is take your ribbon, you're going to wrap it around your index finger and hang it like so. You're going to bring it back round over your third finger, back round your index finger, back round your third finger, index finger. So you're doing like a figure of 8, okay? Then you're going to grab this length at the back. So you're crossing it over all the way, so this is the length from your third finger. You're going to take the shorter length, take it all the way around, wrap it around, and then tie a knot at the back, like so. And then when we take that off our fingers, you'll be able to see how we've got that beautiful bow nicely tied. Okay, so I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm going to stick this one onto our card blank, and that will then be our finished project. So we'll add our bow onto here, and I'm going to put a little pearl in the middle of the bow as well. I think I might put a little flower actually in the middle. That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? So put our bow at the top corner. I'm going to put a little flower on there as well, because we might as well. Stick that onto there. Then we'll add a pearl into the middle of that, I think, just to kind of tie it all in nicely. And what I would also do is I would go in with a few little of these like lilac-y self-adhesive stones and just dot these about in the background, and that would then be your finished project. So I'm just going to dot these in just to show you exactly how we'd use these. So I just kind of do it randomly. I just like look for where I think there looks to be a gap, or where I would like a little bit of colour, and then I just dot them in. So it's nothing too difficult or anything like that. Turn that round, you can see how beautiful that then looks, and that would then be your finished project. This was the one that I did earlier, so you can see this one's had a little bit of time to dry. You can obviously go in and add a few pearls into the background as well, like I have done here, so I can show you how to do that actually. So where I've added the lilac ones, I've then gone into a few gaps as well and just added in some little white pearls too. And really the white pearls just tend to add like a little bit of texture. I think it just adds a little bit more dimension to the project rather than it being so in your face. I really like doing this little technique, just dotting them in and around. It works so well. So you can see that one there, and that's the one that I've already made that's obviously had time to dry. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. You can visit our website, which is chloescreativecards.co.uk, where you can of course buy any of the products that you like to. They are all listed on there, and if you hop over to the blog, which is Chloe's Creative Cards /blogs/news, you'll be able to see this project on there too. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at Chloe's Creative Cards. You can give us a like on Facebook. We are always posting lots of inspiration on Facebook. That's Chloe's Creative Cards again. And of course, you can join us over on Instagram for daily inspiration too, which again is at Chloe's Creative Cards. So nice and easy to remember. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will join me again soon. Bye.